how to become a more attractive candidate for a degree apprenticeship. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 ways to become a more attractive candidate for a degree apprenticeship, exactly what it says on the tin. Just a quick introduction before we start. This is the Apprenticeship Insider, and I basically help people get degree apprenticeships from loads of companies. You can see some people I've helped here, getting them jobs from JLR, Rolls-Royce, HSBC, KPMG, Amazon, just to name a few. If you want to see more videos like this one, go down and click subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's get on with the video. So, number 1, this is the first thing you can do to make yourself a more attractive candidate. It's complete an online course or a MOOC. MOOC basically stands for Massive Open Online Course, and it just means it's a big online course you're going to do. Now, why is this going to make you a more attractive candidate? Well, there's multiple reasons. The first one is going to give you some really in-depth, detailed knowledge. Okay, say for example, you're planning to apply to a software engineering degree apprenticeship. If you go and do an online course about software engineering, about coding, it's going to give you loads of knowledge which is going to be relevant to the apprenticeship. If you're going to do like some sort of finance degree apprenticeship, if you do a course on economics and finance and financial systems, it's going to give you lots of knowledge. It makes you a very attractive candidate. So let me give you an example. I was applying to companies like JLR and Bentley to do automotive engineering. So one online course I did was an online course about low emission vehicle technology. So it was basically things like electric vehicles. So going in depth about the batteries, different things between like AC and DC, looking at hydrogen vehicles, all these sorts of things. That made me a very attractive candidate for these companies like JLR and Bentley. They themselves are looking to do electric vehicles. Well, guess what? I've done a course already about electric vehicles. I already know stuff about electric vehicles. It makes me a very attractive candidate. But on top of the knowledge, it's also going to show the employer that you have certain key skills. For example, you have a willingness to learn, okay, which is a really important thing for the workplace because you're going out of your way to go and do this course. You have time management skills because on top of your normal schoolwork, you're also spending time doing a 7-hour, 10-hour course, all this sort of thing. Okay, it also shows you have dedication because, again, you're dedicating yourself to do a 10-hour course. It's not a short commitment, especially when it's one of these massive open online courses. It could be 10, 12 hours of study you're having to do over 4 weeks, over 5 weeks. It's showing that dedication. Okay, so that's why an online course is really important. You want to make sure on all your applications to all the different apprenticeships you're applying to, you have at least one relevant online course which you can put on there. Okay, so how do you do this? 3 websites you need to check out. Coursera, edX, and FutureLearn. These are basically websites that host online courses. You can go get courses there for free. You just go on there, search the thing you're interested in, finance, technology, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, whatever it needs to be. Go on here and you can find the courses which will be relevant to you. Okay, this is the good one to start off with. Now, just a quick plug before we continue. I have a program which helps people get degree apprenticeships. So if you are genuinely interested in getting a degree apprenticeship offer in 2025, then go click the first link in the description. But let's continue with the video. Number 2, get a work experience placement. Okay, why is this important? Same as before, it's going to give you super detailed knowledge. Not just on this work experience, you're going to learn skills. In my work experience, I had to lead this task. I had to manage this task by myself. That gave me some leadership skills, some management skills, which I was able to show off in my CV, right? It also gave me communication skills because I had to learn how to talk to all these new people in the new team I'd never met before on this work experience placement. Okay, so work experience placement is really good. And I'd actually say this one is the number 1 most important thing you want to look for. Okay, I say that for my applications, my work experience was the number 1 reason why I got the jobs I wanted. Okay, so get a work experience placement is absolutely super important. How do you do this? Okay, so there's a couple of different ways of doing this. Ideally, you want an in-person work experience placement, okay? That's the best case scenario, okay? And there's 3 ways to do this. Number 1 is official programs. So a lot of companies run like an in-person work experience like once a year, something like that. All you have to do is just Google it and find it and you apply it. It's a formal thing. So for example, search PwC work experience, KPMG work experience, JLR work experience. You just need to Google it, find the program, see when they do it. Maybe they do it every year in June. Maybe they do it every year in October. Find it, apply to it, hopefully get a place. Option number 2 is doing a cold email. Now, this usually works for some small to medium companies in your local area, okay? So you're probably not going to be able to get like cold email, some massive company like Google or Facebook. That's probably not going to work. But let's say there's some sort of engineering consultancy, like a small firm in a town near you, or maybe there's some sort of manufacturing like facility in the town near you. You can send them an email asking, would I be able to come to your site, have a couple of days work experience, meet the team, all this sort of thing. You send them a cold email and a lot of people will actually be happy to give you work experience that way. And then the final method is if you go to events and go up and talk to people, okay? This is how I got my work experience. I went to a university open day and they had a talk on degree apprenticeships. And there was an employer there who was giving a talk. So I went up to him after the talk and said, I was really interested in what you're saying. Had a conversation with him, and then he ended up offering me work experience. I didn't even have to ask for it. He offered me. Okay, so it's things like university open days, any UCAS fairs, anything like that. If you go to these in-person networking events, you're going to be able to build that relationship in person and basically ask them for work experience, and you've got a really good likelihood that they'll actually give you that work experience. Now, sometimes you're not going to be able to do it in person, especially after COVID. It's been a bit more difficult getting in-person work experience. So if you can't get in person, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. You can do virtual. That's absolutely fine. So for virtual work experience, there's 3 websites you want to look for: Speakers for Schools, SpringPod, and Uptree. Go and Google those, see what's available. There'll be lots of virtual work experience for you. And also I do work experience updates. So feel free to check out the playlist, How to Get Work Experience, where I show opportunities for work experience at places like Airbus, IBM, Fujitsu, Siemens, Meta, all that sort of thing. Okay, so that needs to be next on your to-do list, get a work experience placement if you haven't already. The next one is doing volunteering. Now, why do we need to do volunteering? Well, it's one thing saying, oh, I work from Greg's in a 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. shift every Saturday. It's like you're getting paid, okay? Volunteering, it just shows you're a really good individual, dedicated individual, because you're doing it for no pay. You're just doing it because you want to do it. Okay, so it makes you look a really attractive candidate. And on top of that, with volunteering, you're going to be growing things like communication skills, interpersonal skills, things like leadership skills, organization skills, technical. You're just going to be developing so many skills through your volunteering. For example, I was a swimming coach for one of my volunteering, and I had to develop those skills of like talking to the swimmers, showing them the program, teaching them through this, all this sort of thing. It's going to give you those skills. So volunteering is super important, not only because of the skills, but also it just shows you're a great person because you're doing it for free. Like that's why volunteering is so much better than a Saturday job. So what the actual steps you can do to get volunteering if you don't do it already. Number 1, if you do DofE, then that's the best way of doing volunteering because you have to do volunteering for DofE. Okay. However, if you're not doing DofE, no problem. Here's what you can do. The first one is weekend or evening volunteering. So this is where you can do something like a charity shop at a food bank. Okay. So maybe every Saturday you do like a 1-hour shift in a charity shop, or every like Wednesday evening you do a 1-hour shift at the local food bank or something. That's what you can do. Okay. But the next one's even better than this, okay? Because the problem with this is it means that like you then have to spend your evenings, you have to spend your weekends, like it's kind of eating away your time, okay? This is what I did this last one, because this is high leverage, okay? Volunteer at school. Because you're already at school, right? So if you volunteer at school, it means you're not having to take out any time out of your day. When you do the weekend evening stuff, like charity shop, you do a 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. shift every Saturday morning. It's like, okay, you then have to do that hour shift on your weekend, right? If you do it at school, you're at school anyway. So in your lunchtime, if you can be at school and volunteer somewhere at your lunchtime, it's not going to waste any more of your time. Or maybe you just stay for like half an hour, 1 hour after school. It's not really wasting that much of your time compared to like a Saturday where you have to like go out of your way and leave the afternoon free so you can do your shift, okay? So things you can do with volunteering at school, go and have a look what opportunities are available. Maybe it's sports coaching. Maybe like the year 7s, they need some like 6th formers to like coach their, mentor them, do the warm-up or practice drills with them or whatever it is, right? Maybe there's some sort of mentoring, tutoring, like maths tuition, that sort of thing. You could help out with the class every week, something like that. Or maybe there's like a music club, like there's a band, there's an orchestra, something like that. It's a bunch of like year 7s and 8s, and you come in there, you can play like your instruments better, you help them. Oh, you don't know how to play this bit, let me show you, right? Helping them out like that. It could just be normal clubs, it could be prefects, it could be like volunteering to help out in your canteen, like your school canteen, to help like manage the queues and all this sort of thing. Whatever you can do, that is the best way of doing volunteering. This is what I personally did, volunteering at school, because it basically means it's not going to like waste any of your time in the weekends or evenings. I just did all of my stuff at like lunchtime, so it meant I didn't have to spend any of my time, but I was still getting the benefit of being able to put on my CV, I've done volunteering, I'm a good person. I did this music stuff, which has given me communication skills and leadership skills and organization skills and all this sort of thing. Okay, so that's another one for you to do. Do volunteering. The next one is deliver a presentation. Okay, so why is delivering a presentation good? Well, one of the most key skills for the workplace is communication skills and interpersonal skills and presentation skills and confidence, right? Because you're going to be in meetings, you're going to have to talk to people. Sometimes you're going to have to lead meetings. You're going to have to be in the office and you're going to have to meet a new person, okay? Social skills are really important for the workplace and for a degree apprenticeship. And I'll be honest, like 80% of people are socially awkward, okay? And this includes me. Before I started doing presentations, I was like, the first time I had to do a presentation to like 6 people in my class, I was absolutely terrified, okay? And how's that going to work when you go into the workplace and then you can't talk to anyone, right? It's really important that you're comfortable delivering presentations, okay? Because in the workplace, you're going to have to do that. On top of that, delivering a presentation is also likely going to be part of the application process. Okay, so a lot of degree apprenticeships, you do your initial application, then you might do some online testing. The final stage is like an assessment center. That's where you're going to do the interview. But a lot of them, they also make you do a presentation. So you have to like make a presentation beforehand, and then you present it to the assessors, and they sort of mark you on how good your presentation is. If you've never done a presentation before, you're going to be very nervous doing this real presentation. You're probably not going to be very good at it, etc., etc. If you have lots of experience delivering presentations, you're going to be absolutely fine. So by the time I was doing my degree apprenticeship assessment centers, I'd already delivered loads of presentations. I was absolutely fine, no problem. Smashed the presentations, and it meant that I could get through the application process and get the job. Okay, so this is why delivering a presentation is super good, because it's going to develop those skills and help you in the application process and help you in the workplace. Okay, so how do you go about delivering a presentation if you've never done it before? First thing you need to do is identify an opportunity. Okay, so there might be an opportunity, like maybe there's a class presentation you can do. So maybe in one of your subjects, everyone in the class has to present on something. Maybe it's some sort of project. Or maybe there's like a club at your school. So maybe there's like a math society where every week someone comes and does a presentation on a different maths topic. Maybe there's an economic society. Each week someone like does a presentation on a different economics topic. Well, then you can go to this club, and then you can say to the person running it, can I do a presentation this week? You do a presentation that week. Perfect. Another one is assembly. Maybe there's something that needs to be done in assembly. You can read it out. This is actually a really good one because there's so many people. Like when you're doing a class presentation or a club society, it might be like 30 people you're in front of. If you're in front of an assembly, that's like 100, 200 people. That sounds scary, but the amount of like confidence is going to give you afterwards, the amount of experience is going to give you when you can actually put on your CV. This is what I did. I put on my CV that I delivered a talk to 300 people. Right, because I'd like talked in an assembly. It was at like an event in the evening in front of 300 people. If there's an opportunity for some sort of assembly thing, then see if you can do that. And if not, if all else fails, if you try these 3 things and there aren't any opportunities for that at your school, worst case scenario, just get your friend group. So just get like 5 or 6 friends, be like, right, boys, let's come to this classroom at lunchtime. I need to give you a 10-minute presentation on this. Okay, literally just find an empty classroom at lunchtime with all your mates, and then just deliver them a presentation. Okay, yeah, it's not some formal club or society or assembly or anything, but it's still something you can put on your CV. You can still put on your CV that you created this presentation, you delivered it to your peers. Okay, so that's why like there's no excuse here. Oh, there's no like club I can do it at. It's like, I don't care if there's no club, no assembly. Literally get your friends and just be like, boys, right, I need to give you a presentation. Let's head inside this classroom. I'll be 10 minutes, right? And then they can just like watch it and they'll probably like film it or whatever, right? But that's what you can do. Just do it with your friend group. So once you've identified that opportunity, right, this is where I'm going to do the presentation. This is what you actually need to do. Number 1, prepare the presentation. Obvious, make your PowerPoint. Number 2, practice it 20 times in a row. Okay, this is how you deliver good presentations. Like I've watched presentations and I've seen bad presentations, I've seen good presentations. The bad presentations, it's like you can tell that they've just put it together and they haven't even practiced it, or they've practiced it once. When you have a good presentation, and this is how I practice my presentations, I just practice it 20 times in a row. I literally do it, whole thing, right, I'm doing it again, right, I'm doing it again, right, I'm doing it again, right, I'm doing it again. And I literally do it until it's perfect and I don't even have to think about it. Okay, so that's like, if you do a presentation, you're really bad at it. If you're really bad at presentations, it's literally practice. Practice makes perfect. You just need to keep on doing it. Okay. And the final one here, do it even if you're scared. Because chances are, if you've never done a presentation before and you're actually taking these points seriously and you want to become a more attractive candidate, and you've decided, you know what, I'm going to present at this club, right? You're probably going to be scared. Okay, you're probably going to be nervous beforehand. Just do it anyway. Okay, because you never want to listen to some like nerves, some fear that's going around in your head. That's just your mind trying to like stop you from improving, stop you from progressing. Do it even if you're scared. Okay, so when I've like first did that very first presentation I did in front of 6 people, like literally 6 people, I was terrified. But did I just like not do it and like cancel it, right? No, I did it anyway, and that made me slightly more confident. Okay, then the next time I did it, maybe that was in front of 20 people, I was terrified. But I did it anyway, and I got more confident, okay? So it's not an excuse. If you're like about to deliver this presentation, you're really nervous, really scared, good. Because that means you're going to improve from it. Okay, that means you're going to develop. Okay, it's good that you're scared. Okay, so do it anyway, and don't just wimp out of it. Okay, do it. It'll give you really good experience. And in a few years' time, you'll be glad that you did it. All the presentations I did, no matter how nervous and scared I was beforehand, I don't regret doing a single one of them. Okay, you're never going to regret doing a presentation. You will regret not doing a presentation because you got too scared and you decided not to do it. Okay, do it anyway. Okay, moving on to the final one, work in a team. Why is this important? Well, number one, working in a team is like one of the most important parts in a workplace. Like saying before, when I said communication was important, teamwork is like on parallel with that. Because as a degree apprentice, you're going to be working with other colleagues, you're going to be working with your team. Okay, so you need to have those collaboration skills, those teamwork skills. You need to be able to show that. I basically say every single degree apprenticeship vacancy, they say in there they're looking for collaboration skills and teamwork skills, because it's just a no-brainer. You need to be able to work well within a team. So you need to be able to have a scenario where you've worked in a team so you can show them that scenario. For example, in the interview, a really common question they ask you is, tell me about a time you've worked as a team. Okay, if you've never worked in a team before, you're not going to have an answer to that question. It's not going to look very good. They're not going to be very confident that you have teamwork and collaboration skills. Okay, you need to have that scenario where they ask you, tell me a time you've worked in a team. Okay, tell me a time you've worked with new people and how did you deal with it. Okay, you need to be able to answer those questions by working in a team. And then also, working in a team is a part of a lot of the application processes. A lot of the application processes do things called group exercises. It's where basically you're in a group of like 5 or 6 of you and you have to do a task within 45 minutes. You have to collaborate with these new people. Again, if you have these teamworking skills, these collaboration skills, it's going to make you much better in this group exercise and it's going to help you get the job you're looking for. Okay, so how do you work in a team? Well, here are the different things you can do. So if there's a class project, that's a perfect example of when you worked in a team. Okay, maybe you have to like work on a presentation together or work on an assignment together with your classmates. Another one's a weekend evening job, because likely if you're working at a Nando's or something, or a shop assistant or a garden centre, you have to like work with the other waiters or the other colleagues, the other shop assistants, whatever it is. If you're part of a sports team, this is a massive one. A sports team might seem completely irrelevant to like an engineering degree apprenticeship or a technology degree apprenticeship, but it's actually really good because a sports team shows so many things. It shows that collaboration and teamwork, because if you're in a football team, you have to be collaborating with each other, you have to be communicating with each other. Do you have the tactics? Okay. It also requires, being in a sports team, just extra one to throw in there. That's dedication and perseverance, because you're turning up to training sessions every single week on time. Right, all this sort of thing. Like if you're the captain of the sports team, your leadership skills. Okay, all these sort of things. So sports team, if you already do a sport, great. Or if there's an opportunity where, I don't know, there's a house event, you can do house football. Like it's a house competition, you can do house football. Go and do that, and you can give that. Oh, tell me about time you worked in a team. Well, one time I worked in a team was when we did house football. It was full of a bunch of us who'd never played football before. So what we did was we all like got together, and I asked for everyone's opinions. What sort of tactics do you want to do? I was making sure I was listening to everyone, and like I assigned roles. This person's goalkeeper, defender, like whatever, right? Sports team. And also work experience placement. As I said before, if you got the work experience placement and you have to work in a team during that work experience placement, you just got a 2-on-1 there, because basically means you can tick off this one here, tell them about the time you work as a team, you can tell them about that time you're on your work experience placement and you had to like do a design with some other colleague there. Okay, there we go. So I fulfill my promise for you. There you go, 5 ways to become a more attractive candidate for a degree apprenticeship. Now that you know how to become a more attractive candidate, you need to convert this into a CV. Okay, so if you want to write a really high quality CV for your degree apprenticeship applications, click the video on the left. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Click the first link in the description. Remember, if you are interested in getting degree apprenticeship in 2025. See you in a bit. Peace out.